y'all. Welcome back to another episode of Buzz Hub. We have another great guest today. We're here with Quincy today. How are you doing?
Hey y'all, welcome to be here. I am doing good. Just
Awesome.
working.
We love that. So, okay, are you, because I know you just had a birthday, is that considered Libra or is it Virgo season already?
I'm Virgo season, yeah, for sure.
Okay,
Virgo
me
season
too.
for
My
sure.
birthday is next week. So excited about it. Um, but honestly, that makes sense because like I just love your energy. You just always bring so much positivity. Like you really have like every time we've talked, like it's just you have a light to you and it's
Thank
like
you.
infectious and I love that about you. And even just like looking through your social media, just looking at how you played on the court, like you exude that on the court too, you know?
Thank
Um and that can be hard, especially like when you go through things like trying to continue to be like that because like I know my freshman year my coach gave me like the energizer bunny title, so I felt like I always had to smile. I felt like I always had to be like so high energy, and I felt like that was my expectation. How did that feel for you? Like, did you go through something like that?
I would say like my freshman year, I would say yeah, because like that was just like a natural personality thing for me. But I feel like they really didn't have any expectations for me. But like I would come in every day, like excited. But also like, as a freshman, you're kind of like trying to learn your grounds, learn the upperclassmen. You're kind of coming in kind of nervous. I feel like I don't know. So like I really didn't. I don't think they had expectations for me, but I was always the one that was like always pretty goofy with my teammates and just
Yeah.
trying to make the most out of the situation, even though I was not playing.
Right. No, and that's fair. And so I know you ended up going to three universities, right? New
Yeah.
Mexico University, made your way to North Texas, and ended your career at OSU. And I kind of just wanted to talk about like the transfer process for you because I know for me, both times that I went into the portal, it was for different reasons. It looked different. Like, so just like talk about that. What was that like for you?
Yeah, it was honestly hard. Like going in, I never wanted to transfer. Like New Mexico obviously wasn't like my go-to spot that I ever thought I would end up at, but like and when I got to campus, I loved it. I feel like they're known to like have people commit once they go to campus just because they have nothing else in Albuquerque, New Mexico. They get a great attendance. My teammates were amazing. So like I really like loved them like all my visits, so it got me to commit. So it's kind of like going in, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be here for 4 years. Like I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna like grow my friendships. So like when I decided, I was really up and down the entire time because I was like, well, maybe I need to do better on my end, or if I do this on my end. So I started like, I would say before season started, kind of like a little bit towards the end of summer, you can kind of get a gist of like, where they feel for you at. And as a freshman, you kind of didn't know that. So like you work hard every day in
Yeah.
summer, but you didn't know that like how they're moving in practices in the summers basically dictates how they're gonna move in the season. So I'm thinking like,
Yes.
I'm gonna just keep working. They're gonna put me into things, da da da. So just wavering from the fact that like, is it on me? Like, let me just reach out to my coaches, see what else I can do, da da da. And it at the end of the day, I don't really feel like it was on me. I think I kind of didn't have like a support. And once I realized how much I valued having a coach in my corner, just like not even saying like you don't gotta like lie or anything, but just kind of advocate for me or just tell me like, or keep it real, like be transparent, like, hey, like you may not be playing this year, but don't sit here and just kind of like, I feel like egg me on, like you just got to do this, and you'll be all right. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm here with you doing this, and this, and
Right.
so
Yeah,
I
no,
was,
like that's how I felt. Like I say that all the time. I wish a coach would just be straight up about it because it would change the mentality. Like not necessarily change you working hard, but when you're doing something and you're giving your all to something with like because you're told of something else and you have an expectation to it, it just becomes demoralizing.
yeah, and like you kind of forget like I feel like I like didn't see like my worth a little bit. I was like, where do I fit here? Like, I don't understand. Like, what am I doing differently? Like, there's other freshmen that are playing that I feel like, you mean like I can get up there with them too? Like, I just need that
Hmm.
same kind of like, you have confidence in me too. Like, again, I came in later too. Like, I didn't graduate until June 8th, so I didn't report till July 1st. So like, I feel like I was also catching up because everybody else came
Right.
in June. So I did have to like catch up, and I just feel like I was just kind of unprepared. The coach that recruited me in, she ended up leaving 3 months before we all reported. So it's like all the people that I felt like were, or the person that I felt like would be kind of the one to keep it real with me or be there, she wasn't there, and I didn't realize how much that meant until later. So I think like just wavering through all those feelings, and I think what solidified it for me was getting in my end of the year meeting and basically them not knowing my commitment level. And I was like, oh, that's strange. I've been in your office or other coaches' offices since the summertime, so I feel like I showed my commitment. So honestly, it was a very hard decision. Like it was never something that I intended to want to do.
Yeah, and we talked about that on your podcast not too long ago about how it's very rare, if ever, that somebody goes into a situation with the intention of leaving at the end of the year. I feel like we might see that in when you like commit to mid-major and you might want to end up going to a higher program at the end of the day. But even with that, like still, it's a very hard thing to do. You are uprooting your life. For me personally, it was hard to make connections, to make friends, to really like genuinely let people get to know me. I just had a guard up. I naturally have a guard up. And it's like I did not want to have to do this 3 different times.
No, I totally agree. Like, although like I didn't feel like I had a hard time like connecting to people, it's just like to think like you have to redo all of that again. Just like that process of getting comfortable in a home, getting comfortable. Like when I first moved in, I was like, you know how you just like can't sleep. Like I felt like I just couldn't
Hmm.
sleep. I wasn't comfortable like where I was at yet. So like my body took a while to like get used to this room and fall asleep in it and like adjust to the the air out there because we have the mountains. So it's like you have to adjust to so many different things. I'm like, dang, so now I have to find a new staff and make sure I'm looking for the same qualities again and find a new home and make sure it fits my values. And it's just like you got to go through all that again. And then also you're putting yourself back out there in the portal to get, and that process of just finding a home is like, it was a lot in high school, like getting all those calls. I got kind of exhausted with it. I was like, dang, like, let me hurry and find my place. Cause, and I committed
Yeah.
late. So it's like, I was still trying to figure that out. So like to go through all that again, it was just like, oh, and it's like I don't want to make the wrong decision again. Like it was just like a lot of
Yeah.
pressures of then I don't want to seem weak. Like why am I going like it's just because you're not playing? Like no, like it's not just like I'm not playing. Like it's bigger than that.
Yeah, I think that's those are good points that you touched on because that's so I'm when it comes to the transfer portal, I feel like either people hate it or they just really don't care about it too much. Like, okay, cool, go transfer, whatever. And then it's the other side of it where it's like, why are you transferring? This is what the generation's like now. You guys have no idea what mental toughness is. Da da da. This and that. And it's like I truly hate the narrative that's get pushed around because like, I I asked somebody the other day like, why is a lack of playing time not enough of a reason for somebody to transfer? Like if that's their reason, if they're not happy, they don't see that they're going to get playing time, so they decide to make a move. I don't see that as a problem. Like I think that there can be a certain level of like expectation that might not be fair. If you put the dot into it, you had the conversations, like I don't see a problem with transferring because you're not happy and you're not getting the playing time and you don't see yourself getting that playing time.
No, it's I don't think it is a problem. I think it's just like a double standard because coaches don't get told not to leave somewhere they're not getting paid enough. Or why would you want to leave if you want to be a head coach? Like I feel like if you want to come from assistant coach to be a head coach, why are you leaving? Like you have a great job, you have a great opportunity. Why want to go be a head coach somewhere? Why want to make more money? I feel like it's the same thing, and I just feel like athletes were not given that same grace. And it's even more like I transferred at a time where I had to sit out. So it's like I feel like I did kind of have to like lose something on top of like it was like a lose lose. Honestly, in my opinion, it felt like I was like, dang, like I don't know what's gonna happen here if I stay. If I go, I gotta sit out, and then I gotta like I feel like I would do the catch up again because in my brain I feel like I was behind because I came in July. So like I'm like I don't want to have to play catch up again and do all this other stuff. And I feel like that's where that double standard comes in, at least around that time. I don't know if it's still current around it because when I transferred to Oklahoma State, it was more of like a about time, a da da da. Of course, you should have been left North Texas, like like it was a whole different like energy. But when I left
Mm.
my first year, my freshman year, it was all like, are you sure you want to do that? Are you da da da? Like I feel like there was a lot more like negative around it. When honestly, I feel like the best time to transfer is your freshman year because you don't have any. You're only taking your basic classes. you're not really looking back on it. It's better than waiting more when you've created all these credits and
100%.
can't leave. Like you just can't. Like you be set backwards. You gotta do a whole degree.
Exactly. Exactly. And it truly, like, I ended up having to change my major because of when I transferred, how I transferred, and everything. And like, so that's a great point. I also think you made another great point when you talked about like the double standard. And it's like coaches want to be able to treat us like employees. They want to be able to put all this on our plate. They fail to see us as the people that we are often when it comes to like the time they take, the commitment they expect from us, the schedules that they make for us. And then it's on the other side, it's like, but they don't see it that way when it comes to making decisions that are best for you. Like when you're at a job, like of course you want to have an expectation of loyalty if it's a career based job and everything, but at the end of the day you're going to make a move based on what's best for you, based on what's best for your family, based on what's best for your career. And I just don't get why we cannot see the transfer portal the same way. And like you said, when it comes to coaches, as soon as they get some like money knocking at the door, yes, they're running. If they get an
Hmm.
opportunity to go from a mid major to a high major, they're sprinting at those opportunity 9 times out of 10. So
And it's crazy
I
because they
can't
don't have
stand
to
that.
give like a heads up to us.
No,
Like, that's a crazy
no,
thing. They've been applied for that job and they'll come in one day and be like, "Hey, y'all, I just got, I'm gonna miss y'all. I just got this opportunity. Can't pass it up.
yeah,
We gotta wait till a whole period to be able to do it. We gotta wait." Like, I just feel like ours is a little more, like, it's just crazy how more strenuous I feel like it is to be able to
hmm,
leave as an athlete versus as a coach because are we like, the whole employee thing, you want to treat us like it up to an extent where it creates value for your narrative, but it's
right,
not, we're not employees when it comes to me making a business decision for myself, for my degree, for my career, like whatever I want to, like why would I want to stay somewhere where you probably regret bringing me in here, you don't think I'm fitting your program or whatever, or two, you don't envision me playing. Why would you want to keep me here if I'm not playing? That's when I'm confused
right,
because you're gonna get rid of me eventually if you need my spot. So why not me leave on my own account and it not be an issue? Like that. That's where it does become like a, that's weird. And now it's even more
yeah,
funny because now they hunt in that portal for people. They're like, we prefer portal kids over getting high school players now. So it's like, it's so crazy now that it benefits you, or it benefits you. Now it's like, you know, the portal's not so bad, like
right.
in some narratives. But if you paid me this amount of money and I'm like, I still want to leave now. Now it's really a business. You get paid. So it's
Yeah,
like,
no, seriously. When you talked about how, like, the money and everything, like, that's such an important part of it. And I feel that NIL and the transfer portal have become things that really level the playing field. Like, it really makes it even now, like, because we can make money moves. Like, it's not just, like, just for the sake of the career, which for a long time it was just for the sake of your career, for the sake of your, like, enjoyment or how you might go into the pros. And now there are so many more elements that people have to consider. And I think that's also like really important. And again, people don't like to see that part of it. Now people have the mentality like, oh, it's only about money. And like while that may be true for some people, like if that's how they make it out or if that's how they decide to prepare themselves for the future, I I think that there should be like some morality to it, of course, but like at the end of the day, I'm not going to fault for someone for doing what they got to do, getting their bag and preparing themselves for the future because regardless, that's what college is about. Preparing yourself for the future. So, I don't know. I think that you made some great points and I did want to see like cuz we talked about a little bit about how some people may transfer with the intention of like they want to get to a better program or they might want to get to a higher program. Was that incorporated in your decision when you transferred the second time from North Texas?
yeah, no, for sure. I wanted to experience NIL. I wanted to experience the Big 12 because mid majors at that time, they didn't get it. They didn't get money until maybe the year that I literally left. Like they weren't, and it was still not going to touch anything near of what I could get at a bigger school. So of course I'm like,
Mm,
it's my last year. These are life changing amounts of money you can get. Like, of course that's what I want to do. But on top of it, I've always felt like I was a Power Five player. Of course, I want to like get up there and like show my skill for the last hurrah. Like that was I honestly wanted to leave the year before. But again, when it comes down to credits and all this other stuff, I wasn't willing to lose all the credits that I gained from my undergrad to just be able to leave when I know basketball was literally just a way for me to enjoy it throughout college and get my degree. And thankfully, with God's plan, I got a master's. Like, master's was never in the plan originally because we only have 4 years in college. We just started now getting all this because of COVID and all this and sitting out and all the other stuff that you can get more eligibility for. But it was always to get my degree. So I was never going to sacrifice my academics for my sport. So I stayed to complete that. And then I was like, you know what, it's completed. I'm ready to, for bigger things. We had a whole coaching staff change anyway, so like it was like it's time. It felt better than the originally planned.
Like you said a little bit earlier about how coaches, they use it as like a catalog. They're like, okay, let's see who's in there today. Like literally, that is what it is. And they talk about, oh, we want loyalty. Oh, we want somebody who's going to stay for a while. But then you're so quick to go get somebody from the portal who's only going to be here for one, maybe two, like years. And it's like that whole thing just it just frustrates me. And
They don't coexist, and they try to make them coexist, and that's the problem, and that's where they face a lot of the issues, is because y'all do want loyalty, but let's just say a year to year loyalty. Like, let's just say it's a year, because let's not forget your scholarship is a year to year contract. It's not
right.
something like you sign your scholarship for 4 years and now you're here. No, it's year to year. So let's just say, hey, I want your loyalty this year. Give me everything you got. Maybe you need to change the perspective on that. Like, let's not say, of course, everybody wants to be there for 4 years. That is their plan. But if you get there one year and y'all both figured out, like, this is not the playing style that fits my game. And that's a lot of the times coaches don't adjust to the players that they have. They try to make the players adjust to their system.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that doesn't, and now everybody's upset about, hey, you're not what I thought you were going to be. Well, babe, you put me in a system that doesn't help me thrive. You put me in a system for for the other girl that you didn't bring here, and you brought me, and now you want me to be her. I am me. So we're going to need to, as a group, even as a unit, not just saying one person, you can always tell in the summer what will work for your team by just little skill breakdowns that we be having. You'd be like, we're not a good dribbling team. Let's get to passing. Let's get us a pass and cut offense. Let's get us something that, we're not a great shooting team. Let's make sure we establish a really good layup off, or like something, off the drive. Like you can't make a person that maybe they shoot 5% from three. You need to go ahead and make it a mid range and layup team. Let's not try to force her to go make some threes. Like, I just feel like that's part of the issue right now, is that you're not working what you got. You're trying to make what you got be something it's not, and then you're upset with the results.
Yes, I think that's a big part of just coaching in general. There's a lack of that within coaching. And I I was talking to somebody who went to JUCO, and he was pretty much saying that like I feel like JUCO coaches are probably some of the best coaches because they literally they get a whole bunch of like random, like it's not as much about like recruiting. It's a little bit harder than that. Like they get pretty much like for in a lot of circumstances they get what they get. They try to get good pieces, but like they get what they get. And because of that, they have to be far more like flexible. They have to build a system pretty much every year. And I just feel like that's when you see the best coaching. When you can like you're not just you see a player and you're trying to take the best parts of them and make it fit to your system. Because like I feel we see that so much with like these star players, and then we expect them to do so great in college, especially under such a great coach, and then you see that that coach is trying to use this one exceptional part of their game when they bring so much more to that, and you try to like creating a cookie cutter player. And like,
Yes.
and that's also part of the reason why we see people transfer. But like right now, focusing more so on the coaching, I hate that expectation that they have on people because I've experienced that. I know my freshman year, like when I was in high school, like I was a versatile scorer. I was getting to the basket. I had mid range. I was working on my three. And then when I got to college, literally all I was good for in this coach's eyes was passing the ball, defense, and energy. And that's literally what I was told. Like, this is all I need from you. And to the point where, like, I had experiences where I would be reading the defense. And if I shot the ball, even if I made it or not, I would get pulled out the game and told like that's not what you're here for. That's not why like I have you in the game. And it's just like, dang.
Right. That's deflating. That's so deflating. Like like that's so deflating. Like it should never be like again, like I feel like that's the biggest thing. You should never tell that's where you take like the joy out of it, the authenticity out of the game. Like anybody should be able to go get it. Maybe it should never be like, it girl. Like of course there's gonna be probably one girl in the team that's like super like she comes in like she's that girl. That girl could be that girl, but it takes five on all atmospheres from the defense to the offense because she is not going to be able to maintain at a high level to be the only one making us win because it's just not. It's the season. Basketball season is way too long. That's
Right.
where injuries come in, and that's what I like. I faced that at my first school. One of our better players, our scorer was a point guard. She went down with an ACL tear, and now you're looking at me in the bench that hasn't been playing all season, hasn't had anybody push into them, pull into them, none of it. Now we're in the conference tournament, and you're looking at me like, you ready to be a point guard? Absolutely not, babe. I did not. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Right.
Like you told me to run the quarter and shoot threes all season. What
Mm-hmm.
do I look like starting a play? I'm a little confused. Am I able to? Yes, but do I have the confidence to? No.
Yeah.
You took all that from me. You stripped that from me when you told me to run your butt to the corner and make a three. Well, that's all I know how to do. I guess you need to call the next man up because that's all you poured into me all season. That's all I got for you. And I feel like that's
Yeah.
where then they get to, well, you weren't ready. I don't believe that's true. I was ready for the position that you gave, the role that you gave me, the energizer, whatever it was. That's the role that I adjusted to. You can't be talking about, well, that's not what we recruited. But you didn't bring me in here for what you recruited me to do. You brought me in here to be a whole different player. If you would have kept it a spade with me in recruiting system and said, or recruiting season and said, hey, I need me a point guard that's going to bring in energy, da 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 da, I would have been able to weigh my options out and see, like, am I going to want to come here and do that for you? Like, what's wrong with that? Like, I'm trying to understand why that can't be a transparent conversation. Saying, hey, if we get this girl, I'm gonna be real with you. We really just need you to come in here and be a great teammate, get the ball up the court, bring energy, all of that, and we gonna take care of you. Okay.
Right.
That's where my confusion comes in, and where like my frustration a lot throughout my college career was just like I don't understand.
100%. Yeah, and I think that confidence is a far bigger aspect to like a player's success and how their career goes and people like to admit. You can have all the skills in the world, but if your confidence is lacking, like it's not going to translate. And I felt that firsthand. Like at Texas, my confidence was like literally stripped from me, and I genuinely feel like it was intentional because like when I had like my freshman year was maybe possibly my best year throughout my college career because it was like the first half of the season I wasn't corrupted yet. Like I was still playing how I played. I was doing like things that I did in high school and I was still me. And then as the season like went on, like he took pieces. He was like, "Yeah, no, take that part of your game. I don't want you to do that. We have this person for that." Okay, okay, I see you there. Like, no, I don't want that piece. But your defense is one of the best that I've seen. Make sure pretty much that's what you're here for. You go play defense and then I'll holler at you if there's anything else I could do for you." And it's like, how am I supposed to progress? Like you're not investing me or none of that. And that's part of like coaching too that we are seeing like dwindle. Like we don't want to as much as like people say players don't want to invest in one program and be loyal to one program. That's the same with coaches. As soon as they feel that a player is no longer useful for them, they push them to the side. And it's like I've felt it. I've seen other players go through that and it is such like it's it's such a dangerous game to play. Like you're playing with somebody's life. You're playing with somebody's livelihood. And I just feel like that coaching has to become so much more well-rounded. And we're not seeing that from these coaches. Like it's purely about them and about saving their job and about like being successful. It's like as a coach, as a leader, especially like a coach at the college level, And a coach at the college level and a coach at the pro level, it's different. Like pros have a
Hmm.
little bit more like, you know, autonomy.
Yeah.
But at the college level, you are literally like the sun and the moon as a coach to a player. Like literally I have to
We're
be
growing
like,
up with you.
"Oh,
We're growing old with you. We're literally growing old with you. We get here at 17, 18 years old, and then we don't leave now until 24. Like some people don't leave to 24. Like you've literally seen us transform to from teens to adults. So you're very impressionable on us. Like that's why it's very important like what you speak and what you say to us because that sticks. Words stick. And that's what a lot of athletes dwell on. And it's not even just basketball. We see a lot of suicidal people taking their lives in all sports. It's not just basketball. It's not just anything. So it's like, it's not, and I don't feel like it's an athlete issue. It's not. I just feel like, yes, the school should have the resources, but how about we be cautious of what we say to people? And like, and I'm not saying you have to like be babied or whatever, but you don't always have to yell. Like I feel like there's a way to for some people they can't. Some people do not you don't know what their livelihood they came from. What if yelling is triggering for them? You know what I'm saying? Like let's and that's on you to find out as a recruiter for what you can coach and what you can't coach. So if you feel like in you like you're very reactionary and you don't think before you say and you just say how you feel, you probably shouldn't bring somebody in here that could potentially not be able to take in yelling. Like I feel like you could be able to tell somebody, "Hey, I kind of pull them in. Hey, I mean, like, I need a little more from you. I'm a little frustrated with, are we disconnected? Are we, like, there's a way to be effective communicators, and that is another issue that's lacking in not even, I mean, coaching, but like it just lacks in general. Not all humans can communicate, and I feel like that's the biggest thing that coaches should learn is how to effectively communicate with your team. It's not just always like, y'all didn't listen to me, get on the line. Y'all didn't do this, get on the line. Y'all didn't do this, like we taking it all away from the locker room. We taking all your good stuff away. We gon' cuss you out every day. Like there's just a way to do things that should like and if we were employees, we can go to HR about that. But again, some systems are corrupt. So you cannot go to your resources.
exactly. No, exactly. And like that's part of for me that's part of the podcast. Like wanting to have these conversations, make it more prominent. Like help people understand because I feel like the people that understand that can only ever truly understand are the people that go through it because we go it's just a system, you know? As an athlete, you go in, you're wide-eyed, you're excited and everything and then like bam, life smacks the hell out of you and it's like okay, this is what I'm dealing with, go through these traumatic events, okay, now I'm graduated and I never speak about it again because now you have people telling you like, oh yeah, that's just a part of the game, and then a couple years down the line you're going to be saying the same thing about these athletes like, oh, they're tripping, this is just what you go through as an athlete. Like maybe that's what you felt like you had to just go through as an
Mhm.
athlete, but now like times have changed, like in anything as life as a whole, it's going to evolve. The world is going to evolve for good or bad. For good or
And
bad. But
normalizing
we
it doesn't make it better. Normalizing
at
that you went
all.
through it is not like, oh, like it should happen. Like that's the issue. That's why it hasn't stopped because we as
Correct.
athletes normalized it. And we'll be like, well, I went through that too. So and I mean like look at me now. I literally didn't understand the effects of literally being an athlete until I got a real job. And they're looking at me like, you don't have to like ask me if this is okay. You don't have to like check in. Just do it. You're grown. Like we trust you. Like you mess up, we're gonna pull it in for you. I literally don't even. I've just learned literally in a year and a half on how to just think for my own. Because like as an athlete, you're not allowed to think or speak or say when like something's wrong at all or it's an issue like in the work field like please your boss asks you like are you good like and maybe in some places you can't but like if you're in an environment where you can actually say like hey like I'm a little like stressed like not saying I can't handle it but I am a little like stressed because I don't understand this or something or whatever and their response will be completely different. It won't be like well figure it out or it's part of life or um it's just college like excuse me. College is not like just like something that's just no school, no level of your school, middle school, high school, whatever. You go through different phases of growing up and they're hard. High school can be hard, middle school can be hard. People are mean. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't
The
matter where
world is
you're
mean.
at. Like the
Right.
world is mean. So regardless if I'm in college and I'm telling you that I'm stressed out, I'm literally I'm also a student. You know that, right? So I'm not just so I'm here to get talked down by you, and then I got to go to class and make sure I'm mentally alive or mentally ready to learn from my teacher that is wanting at the front. And I'm over here still replaying class trying not to cry about what you literally said to me in practice that was outrageous. Like it was outrageous.
Right. And I think that goes back to like what you said about how some systems are corrupt. And it's like if this was a workplace, we would have HR. And technically, that for athletes is compliance. But compliance is a scam to me.
Very.
Compliance is truly a scam because like I've had experience where I try to utilize compliance and I was like, okay, like I'm submitting these hours. I'm telling you like these hours are not matching up what this chart is telling me. We're here for hours more than what like we're being
Mhm.
told we're going to be there for and all these other things. And it's like somehow the coaches found out that it was me that had said what
Somehow,
I said or like whatever the case may be. And it's like why do we even like gonna pretend that we have a system in place if we're gonna get punished for using it, if it's just there for show. And I literally like when I was at Texas Tech, we a couple of us submitted the hours and we're like, yeah, no, like these hours aren't correct. Like we're going 45 minutes to over an hour above like every day. It's affecting our lives, yada yada yada. We had to have a compliance meeting about it. And then the compliance lady came in, she said what she had to do and talked about like the punishment that's going to have to be had for the coaches in terms of their hours and everything because it was right. We were right and they had to do something about it. And then like literally in the meeting, the compliance person literally was like, but like this is a part of being an athlete. Like you're going to go over. So like let's not be too crazy about making adjustments to the hour logs that we're sending you. And I was like, is
you
this
just
not what you're
contradicted
here
everything
for?
you just said. You just contradicted everything you just said. I just feel like that. That's literally. I literally probably had one compliance that was like for athletes, and that was at North Texas, and that was because half them couldn't stand the coach in general. So
Mm,
that is why they were so adamant about like you report your hours so we can do what you gotta do. But most of them, they have compliance in their back pocket, babe. Like it has nothing to do with it. Like, and they will find out who said it, and they will find out every inch of what was said. I literally had a situation
mm,
where I went to even not even just compliance. It was like the whoever is supposed to advocate for athletes too, when they like report something about their. It's not just like there's like another level that I went to like report a situation, and somehow it got back to my coach, and I know it got back because now I'm unfollowed. Now I'm all this, and I'm like, this is crazy. Um, okay. And it's
right.
like y'all can't be trusted. And they are upset with athletes like, please come to us. Please. Like we're here for you. Like, no. Like I'm not coming to you because you're about to tell her in a text or email her or something that I literally came in here to tell you that she went over or to tell you that she said something that was out of pocket or he said something that was out of pocket. Like, and now you're telling them, like, I'm not telling you to, like, you need to give them a warning. I'm not saying just fire them. Like, hell, like, that's crazy. People have lives. But, like,
Correct.
do something about it just like you would if he was to come to you about me. Y'all would instantly take action against an athlete. Not that it happens, coach. Like they're emotional, they're stressed. Like what about that same? We go through the same stress and emotion they do. Just because we're not getting like we get a check cut by the school, just like they do. Like we all. I'm trying to figure out why it's a lack of support and why you realize why athletes don't come or when they do report situations y'all brush it underneath the rug, which is why you have people that commit suicide because y'all brushed it underneath the rug and acted like, oh well,
Hmm.
they're just being dramatic, the coach doesn't mean that. How do you know? How do you know? Are you the coach? Like you won't know anybody's intentionality until you are them. So for you to say that they didn't mean it in the way they did, I'm telling you, I was there. I looked him or her in the eyes. They meant what they said. They said it
Yes.
dead to my face with a straight face and did not apologize a day later. I'm supposed to just move on.
Right. Yeah, like coaches can say the craziest thing to us, and yeah, we're just supposed to take it on the chin, just like chalk it up to, they're just being emotional that day, or, they didn't mean it like that, like you said. And like, depending on the age that you're at, you don't know how that's going to affect somebody. Like, as a freshman, the things that were said to me messed with me so bad. So bad. Like, to the point where, like, there's still internalized things that I'm still working through. Like, being a college athlete truly has left me with like PTSD and things that I had genuinely have to work through, like what you mentioned with like how you are in the workspace now. Like you had to relearn how to be a normal person. Like you truly do. Like, and it's not just about the example you use. Like when ended up having to like control my own time, like that's a skill that you learn as you grow up. Time, like it's not just about time management, but it's about like I can make my own schedule now, and I have to like make a schedule that is like useful, makes sure I get everything done. Like, and it's like you can chalk that up, sure, to time management, but it's not the same when you are used to like logging into Teamworks and seeing exactly where you're supposed to be, when you're supposed to be there, how long you're supposed to be there for the most part. And you're just like, okay, go there, done, check, got that, okay, go check. And it's like, it's not the same.
That schedule is literally fake. Whatever they give you is literally just to have documentation. The schedules never ever ever align. We
Oh
could
no.
literally have a day where it like all hits, and then the coach will text, hey, meet at my house. Hey, we got to recruit. Hey, we need y'all here this. Excuse me, babe. This day up. Could you? No job is going to do that when they love to compare. Be like, well, college is preparing you for a job. Actually, no. It's the most unprofessional thing ever because I'm confused on how day of an hour before you're telling me y'all need to be at the gym in 30 minutes, babe. What?
Yeah, no, there are those things too. And like you said about like athlete to workplace pipeline. If you don't plan to work in the like sports industry, being an athlete is not going to really benefit you in terms of like the skills that you learn. Like people love to take like talk about like how being an athlete is going to make you so much more like desirable to the career field. All my friends are like, yeah, I have nothing on my resume, and that student athlete at this school like on there is not doing anything for me. And it's like, for me it's a little bit different because one, I'm not really like trying to go too far from the sports world. So like, yeah, like my knowledge, my experiences, that's going to benefit me. But my friend who wants to be an accountant, like that's
Gotta
not
have
helping her.
experience, CPA license. There's so much stuff, and you can't get all that as an athlete. Like you don't have time because they
Yeah.
take up all your time, so you can't gain experience. What jobs look for is experience. That was my biggest
Yes.
thing trying to find a job because I do want to stay in the sports world, but again, it's also hard to get in there it's very hard to get in there. It's hard to get a job anywhere, but
Right.
when you do get an opportunity to get a job, you got to take it for what it is. So when they look at my resume and all my experiences, oh, worked at basketball camp. Oh,
Yeah.
at the Met.
Like,
Oh, like they're like, oh, babe, that's cute.
right.
That doesn't do anything for me. Do you have an internship? And luckily, my degree required me to have an internship, but that is all the experience. Like we jobs look for experience. They don't. The degree gets your resume above the other 50 that didn't have a degree, but it doesn't put you above
Right.
the ones that have a degree with experience with all this.
Right.
Like it's all about
Yes.
experience, and you have no time to get experience anywhere because again, those fake schedules that take up your entire preseason. Like, and again, you can do that preseason. I get in season, like, duh, we're traveling, da 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 da. But preseason and postseason, when we're absolutely nothing, y'all have managed hours that
Yeah.
y'all can work with. We should be able to again. This is where we return to being, students, and we can actually gain experience. I don't even like with my degree, like I have a converged broadcasting degree and I have a master's in sports management. I don't even know what the heck I can do with any of that or like where I can go with any. I know like obviously you can work for channels and all that other stuff, but like I don't even know what to do with that. So I'm out here like, what did I learn actually? Can't even remember because half the time I was rushing from here to here, practice here to here, and I don't even know if I was actually in the class. Hello, like mentally. to retain
Right.
anything. So I honestly can't even
No.
like remember.
Yeah, I think that's fair too. Like the phrase, because they always love to talk about student athlete and like how student comes first. Baby, they said student athlete because it rings better, it sounds better. The student is not prioritized by these coaches. Maybe when you're in high school, like I feel like, yeah, I was a student athlete in high school, but once I
Yes.
got to college, being an athlete is the priority over everything. I literally remember my freshman year, I missed a whole test as a result because of practice going overtime. I was like, yo, I need to make sure, like, because I know you're prone to going over. So I need to make sure I'm out on time so I can get to this test, be ready for it, and da 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 da. Somebody forgot, whoever was supposed to tell me what time to leave, and then I missed the test, and it was a whole process to get it done. And it's like these expectations are not true. The college coach, like, they're not going to prioritize the degree that you want to get if it affects with their schedule and how they want to have that year to go. They're not going to prioritize an internship unless it's an actual requirement
Hmm.
from your degree. And honestly, I think that the biggest thing, if I were to give somebody advice, make sure that if you have to talk to your coach about anything academic related, that you have it with that meeting with your academic advisor. Because hearing it from you is not going to be enough. It's not,
It's not
because they don't
credible.
care.
It's not
No.
credible to them. It's not credible at all. Which is why a lot of athletes, when y'all go in with the mindset to do this, and if it doesn't align with the basketball schedule, your academic advisor sometimes will tell you, maybe you should go a different plan. Maybe you should go a
Yes.
different route. No, babe, I want to do this. So can we make the schedule fit? Can we do this? But then it becomes an issue with your coach. And your coach is like, is your commitment level here? Babe, I'm trying to
Right.
balance my life. Like, let's really
Right.
get this right. Like, you're trying to like I'm glad that I didn't have to experience that because I knew what I wanted to do and that did fit in with the schedule because again it had something to do with sports. So my sport so the teachers or professors were just so willing to be okay with me missing tests or remaking up tests and doing all this other stuff. But a lot of these people that want to be nurses, doctors, all this other stuff that we need in the world, um, they're getting guilt tripped into why are you leaving practice? Why do you need to leave practice? Why do you need to go leave early, an hour early, if your test is not for an hour? Babe, because I want to prepare. What do I look like running in there after practice when my mental is literally worrying about getting here and I haven't even had a chance to review my notes that I stayed up to midnight to write after getting out of practice at 8 p.m.? I
Right.
had to come back and fix my food and get into bed and do all this other stuff and prepare for the day. And again, to redo this all over again. And those hours matter. That's why when we come to y'all and we say, babe, we've been at practice for 5 hours. Why are we still here? Especially if we're going to return tomorrow morning for weights and come back later for practice. And where's school? Where does school fit in here? Hello? Like, are y'all forgetting that we're students?
They
Okay.
don't care. And a lot of people, like, a lot of professors end up getting frustrated and mad and have a grudge towards athletes because they think that they feel that the athlete, it has this, like, expectation of getting better treatment or whatever the case may be. And it's like, Professor, I swear, I didn't want to have to walk into class late. Like, my social anxiety alone wouldn't have let me do that. I promise you. I promise you. And then it's
Look at
also
my
like when
outfit.
you,
I'm still in my practice gear, babe. Does it look like I had time to be late? Baby, I'm in my practice gear. I didn't even get to change out of my practice gear. Like I ran
right.
here, sweat on head, ran here from the gym mid practice. Tape still on my ankles. I literally had to go to a class with tape ankles practice uniform on. Everybody look. I'm like, I'm in my grad program my last year. I look crazy as hell. I'm grown as hell in this class with my tape on. I know I'm funky. Like I ain't have time to take no shot. I mean, like I don't be getting too funky. Don't be doing too much. I mean, but I'm sweaty. So, like you said, like that whole stereotype of like athletes don't want to like. There are some that want to just get by, and those are the ones that are pro bound. Our boys, our men that think they're pro bound. They ruin it for all of us. Okay. But the rest of us that actually care about it and want to learn, we can't. We literally can't. Like I give kudos to the ones that have experienced great coaches that allow you. Mine, baby, please don't miss a practice. You're not a leader if you miss. That is the most triggering word for me is that leader role word. Like where are leader? Like 'cause the amount of time that it was like used against me in the most negative way has like scarred me. Like that and like disrespectful. Those two ones really bum me because I'm not a disrespectful person. So it's like when I get told that because I'm telling you that you have crossed my boundary of respect for me, now I'm being disrespectful because I'm telling you my boundary. Like that is so weird.
Yeah, no, and like the leadership expectation, it's like it's such a catch 22. Like for me, I wanted to be in roles of leadership. Like I craved that. I enjoyed that. Like I just felt like naturally, like I just kind of like navigated towards leadership roles and everything. And I remember specifically my senior year when I was at Texas Tech. And like I was very intentional. I was like, I'm going to be the leader of this team. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to be vocal. And I did it and everything. But I just wasn't the person that she wanted that to be. And it was like she was so intentional about like this is an example. We had, you know, when you have your college open runs or whatever during the summer and you guys have to get some games in however many times a week, whatever the coach has you do. And it was like I was just made sure we did it, made sure we knew what time, made sure everybody that it worked for everybody and everything. And everybody knew that. It was commonly known. And then like there was this time where that coach, she had called one of my teammates over and was like, "Hey, like, Rye, like I really want to make sure that you guys are staying on top of like the runs and want you guys to get your games in, yada yada." And she was like, "Oh yeah." And then she had to come to me during the conversation, looked at me like, "Ash, like what? When is this? When is that? Like, da, 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 and all this stuff." And it was like, yeah, because that coach knew that I knew. That coach knew that I set those things up, but she intentionally went to somebody else because she wanted somebody else to be the leader. And then I was like, I was never a leader until I got in trouble. I was never you never referred to me as a leader until I messed up. And
Oh, I
it's
feel you.
like, okay, I see where this is going. I
And we
see.
can only point out my mess ups though. Like
Right.
that was another one for me. I was like, oh babe, I rarely mess up, but I'm a very accountable person. So I'm gonna tell you when I mess up, or I'm gonna say, you're right, that was on me. But you can't even hold this other person accountable, and then you have and then that's where like fueling me comes out. Cause I'm like, babe, like you can even tell her that, but like you have so much aura to tell me that I am wrong. I know I am. I literally told you that 5 minutes ago. Like I told you I did wrong. Can you do you remember? Were you there? Cause baby, she called you out your name and said F this program. Did you see her? Cause I missed her. I guess you missed her. I don't know what happened. Because why is it so easy to hold me accountable? But because I'm the type of I have that personality where I'm respectful and I will never disrespect you, even if you're wrong. Even if you're dead wrong, I will not sit there and debate with you about you being wrong. I'll be like, cool, cool. I'll take that to the chin and go home and vent to my mama and tell her how bad you just lied on my name today. Or like, hello, and like you said
100%.
with that whole leadership thing, I feel like I've had always that natural thing. As for me, I just feel like everybody is a leader in their own way. So some people have it in
Hmm.
different ways. There you have your vocal one, you have your one that shows up every day, you got the one that plans. I feel like it shouldn't always have to be on one person, and that's where we used to bump heads with my coach because she'd be like, "Well, you're upperclassmen. It don't matter if you're upperclassmen. Upperclassmen, most upperclassmen don't care. Hello, like they don't care. I feel like I was an upperclassman that I only gave a crap about winning, wanting to do that. Like I'm like, okay, I'm gonna show y'all. And sometimes I'm vocal when I need to be, but if I know that vocal isn't the way you respond, I'm not gonna speak to you. I'm just gonna show you because I realize there's different people, and some people don't respect what I gotta say. Therefore, I'm not gonna say a thing to you. Like I'm not gonna sit here if I know that you were over there. You don't respect what I say. Why would I? I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna speak to the general population. Hey, we're gonna do this today. If y'all want to come, please come this time. Show up. Wear these clothes. Woo 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 woo. If you don't, cool. But don't, coach, don't come to me. Why didn't so and so show up? Go to so and so. Why are you asking me why she didn't show up? I'm not gonna sit here
Yeah.
and be petty and kiki with you. And I feel like that's another thing. A lot of leaders are the ones that the coaches feel like they can use to get information they want. And I was never that one, which is why I always it was leader was always used negatively for me, like when I did something wrong. Because I'm not gonna sit here and cinch on no teammate, nothing. If you ain't asking about me, do not ask me about it. Baby, I'm not finna tell you nothing. I'm not finna you finna mess up my relationship with my teammate. Girl, back. You gonna have to go figure that out yourself. I'm not gonna sit over here and tell you what Brittany did yesterday or why Brianna not in the gym. Go ask her. And I'm not gonna
Yeah.
and we're all grown. I'm not gonna make her come to the gym. So don't be trying to
Yeah.
make me a lead. Don't be trying to pull that leadership thing when I don't make her come to the gym. I'm not her mama. I'm her teammate. I'm gonna tell her, hey, you need to get your shots up. We need you in the game. And if she don't come, that is on her. That I'm not finna go over there and go get her. I'm not. So sorry. I'm not gonna do that. They're grown. So she could be beefing with me.
I think that that's a great point because I have experience where like there are coaches where like, you know, Ashley, why didn't you bring so and so with you to the gym? And it's like, damn, you saw I was in the gym and now I'm in trouble because I didn't bring somebody with me to the gym. Like what? That doesn't even make any sense. It truly doesn't because it's like I know if the roles were reversed, somebody's always in the gym, whatever, and they hit me up and they're like, oh, like Ashley, you need to get in the gym, like da da da. I'd be like, oh, okay, and then go and lay my happy self down on the bed still, like because if that's your prerogative, that's your prerogative. Like, and I'm not saying like you can't be encouraging to a teammate or be like, hey, like you said, you need to get your shots up. Like we're gonna need you in the game. You need to make sure you're doing what you're doing for whatever reason. For whatever reason.
Exactly.
But like it's like
Exactly.
I'm not going to go open that girl door, grab her by the hand, and yank her to the gym.
Never. Never. I'm not gonna do that because she's grown. Now I'm gonna tell her again, like we said, I need you, girl. Please, please. But if you're mad at me because she didn't come, that is our or because you and that's like another. I feel like I was always the one that like if the coach couldn't talk to that person, I had to be the one to communicate with that person. And I'm like, why don't you go to the person's friends that she respects to ask them to talk to her? Because if you for some odd reason don't feel like you can talk to the player that you recruited to bring in here, why do
Yeah.
you think she's finna respect me? And you know we ain't been hanging out like like it matters of that's why I always say there's multiple leaders because it matters. You have to get the person that they connect and relate with, or just respect. And if they don't want to respect that person, they're not finna. I had teammates that just was like, cool. It didn't matter if I was the leading nothing. They had a envious feeling of that because they weren't in that position, so they're not gonna wanna. They're like, coach
Facts.
said it was going to be me this year and it's you, so I don't really care what you got to say, honestly. Like, you
And
comp. And
that's a
I'm like,
fair point
ew,
too.
I'm not comp. I'm not comp. There's enough time for all of us to get money, to get paid. And, like, she would put a lot of these in people's head, and I'd be like, girl, I promise you, I want you to eat like I eat. I'm just going to go get it. You got to go get it, too. Like, I don't know what you, I don't know.
Right.
It's just,
No
that was a
facts.
lot of the problems. I was like, baby, I can't be responsible. That's stressful. That's so stressful. Like I can't
It
take
is.
on other people's stuff like and carry my own and like my fam like I got my own stuff going on. Like and I'm not respect and I love my teammates, but if I have to continuously pour into you like I'm the coach, I need to start getting paid better, Lena. I need to be the coach now. I need to be the coach. Like
Right. Right. No, for real. For real. So you've had three different coaches.
yep, three different coaches, three different.
Okay. So with your experiences with coaches and everything, what do you feel like you didn't get from coaches that you wish you did and would have changed your career or how your career ended up going?
Honestly, with my first coach at New Mexico, Mike, I think I, I, I out of everybody, I think he was the one that held everybody to an equal standard of accountability in a way of just yelling at all of us equally. Um, and make like so it felt like it was somewhat, but the accountability part, he would hold everybody to an accountability, and that's like big for me. And I didn't know how big it was for me and how much I had it in high school that how to coach that held everybody accountable. I feel like that was the biggest one for me that held on, and I was like, yeah, I love the fact that, and it's like individually, like yes, you hold us as a team accountable, but individually you hold each person like you gonna call out when they not doing something. You gonna call them out. I feel like he did that pretty well. I think at North Texas that was like the worst one for me. That was the worst one for me. I'm not gonna lie. That was rough. I still like I had bad anxiety. I literally had to like get some anxiety medication. And I used to hate it because why am I taking anxiety medication for a game? Because you're like stressing me out because I'm getting panic attacks mid game. Like
Girl.
why do I've never had to have that. I didn't even know what that was. I didn't even know what anxiety, panic attack, none of it was until then. And I'm like, Yeah, I still can't even walk up on that campus without literally flaring up in anxiety. Like it's crazy. Like that's how much trauma that comes from her. Yes, a lot of my great accolades came from there and all that, but like the emotional and mental trauma that I had at that institution, I don't recommend nobody going there. I never do. I'd be like, I love UNT for their fans and their people that were there. They're beautiful donors. They're beautiful people. I love all the support outside of it. But like, as far as in that program, babe, I wouldn't wish nothing. It needs a whole culture rechange. I wouldn't wish that
Mm-hmm.
on my enemy. I would never. And I don't have no enemies. If I did, I would never even send you there. I wouldn't do that to you. But um, and then Oklahoma State, I feel like it was different. I feel like every institution's not perfect. So you're going to have situations where you go through a lot of traumatic things. Not saying you didn't go on. Things are traumatic there, but they weren't on a level as UNT. That's so sad. Like, that's so sad that I like have to compare it that way because like I had trauma at every school, but it was like the worst was UNT. And it's like, it's hard to like compare and like figure out like, what's was worse when they're both were bad. Like it was bad to experience. Like you, I wouldn't want anybody to experience that. Like, but personal, I
100%.
didn't have anything really too personal at Oklahoma State. I think there was a lot of it that were just like words that were said that shouldn't have been said at all
Mm.
from coaching staff. So like outside of that, I loved my teammates. I loved the school. So like I would just tell people like when you're looking, I think just really talk to people, like really, and don't talk to them to just go back to the coaches. Like that's one thing that like I mean like I don't care, y'all can talk to me because like I'm out, but like if y'all want to actually get bit, like y'all want to get the goods out of people that are still there, you got to keep what they tell you to yourself. Like if you go back
Yes.
to the coach and ask them, they're not going to tell you, yeah, I cussed her out
Right.
last week, or yeah, I called her tainted, or said that she literally has this brain of the size of a pebble. Like, of course I said that. Like they're not going to tell you that. So it
Yeah.
doesn't
No.
benefit you to go back and say that. You need to note that and see if that's what you can put up with. So just I
Mm-hmm.
think that's like the biggest thing I would say out of my experiences. I would say that there accountability isn't big in the sports world.
At
Individual
all.
accountability on the coaching, anything. So I would say like that was the most traumatic thing is that because without accountability, your program will be you won't have a culture. It won't because that's what I noticed. It just won't be a good culture. It'll trickle down. There's always going to be a group that thinks they're bigger than the program. Then there's going to be the ones that have that you give nothing to that are actually the ones that want to carry out a good culture. Um, and it's just like I just like it's sad. It's sad. I really hope it changes. But at the same time, yeah, now they getting paid. So it's like I went through this and I was not getting nothing. I was I was living out my stipend. So
Yeah. No,
I don't
literally,
know.
I'm so upset about that. Like my most traumatic and like emotionally exhausting year, it wasn't even a thing yet with NIL, and I was just like, man, because especially because at Texas, man, I know they got money. Okay, I was dang, like dang,
Because
I could
maybe
have
I could
been
have been
getting
like, the
paid
money,
for
the
getting
money, the
scarred.
money. Could have got paid for getting
Like
cussed out. Could have been like, the money, the money. Like that could have been a reminder to at least help me from crying at night.
right. 100%.
Oh no.
So just to kind of like finish out here, just to explain to everybody, I do this series called DM Diaries where I open up my DMs or emails for anybody to just send in stories where they want to kind of list like they want to let it out because like we talked about earlier, people go through these things and they keep it in and there can be good reason for people not wanting to talk about it, be public about it. And I just share it for them. And, you know, I'm just this giving you this platform. Is there like, do you have a story for me? Like one of the jaw dropping moments. I don't need no names. You don't got to give no school if you don't want to. It's all on you. But like, give me something. What's the tea?
So much tea.
Yeah, literally.
So much
Which one do
trauma.
you want to
Like,
pick?
um, dang. You know, like when you go through so much trauma, it's like in the back of your head and
Oh
everything,
yeah,
like you try to stuff it back so far, like you can't remember every freaking detail. And it's like, dang, I know, baby, between North Texas and OSU was even rough. So I guess I can do like but I honestly did love OSU. So we played Houston and I knew a few of the play, or I knew I had a former teammate on there and I had communicated with them that I knew their skill. Like that's a driving team. That's what they like to do. They like to drive. They like to get it to the hole. They're not very high level shooters. So I'm saying like we should go in a zone. Like I'm not saying like I'm just like, hey coach, like can we do like a zone? like because we have like 6 players now. Everybody's out with injuries, and only 2 of us can guard the ball, like guard, like actually guard. Love my other ones, but like that wasn't their thing. We had some
Fair.
battling injuries still, and nobody was 100%, you know, 100% good besides me and another teammate. And that was kind of like my mindset the whole time. We prepped for the game, and I had communicated it. So we get up. They didn't want to go with it. We still played man. We got up to the game. The game's going on. Like that whole week, I kind of felt like drained a little bit. So like I didn't have my normal energy that the vibrant energy that you brought up. I didn't have it. Like, but I was still working hard because at the end of the day, like I'm gonna work hard, and that's just what I do in me because I'm a competitor. So we get to the game. I'm playing. I'm da da da. But I'm not taking my normal shots. I'm passing them up to give other people. I'm just playing. I'm just out there at this point. But I'm still playing defense, passing, and making sure everybody gets their buckets, everything. Um, I get pulled and I get told like, what's wrong with you? Da da da. Are you good? Da da. I'm like, I'm fine. I'm like, I'm good. Like I'm good. Like I'll play through it. I'll hoop through it. That's literally my words. I'll hoop through it. And they sat me for a little bit, then put me back in. I passed the ball again, didn't take a shot, passed the ball. And the other girl took the shot and made it. I got pulled again. And I basically got sat the remainder of the game. And I'm next to my teammate, Hannah, and we're chatting it up. We're just, she's trying to make me feel better because I'm pissed. Because I'm like, bro, like, I just want to play. Like, I just want to hoop. Like, I'm not really like, yes, I may not be in the mood, but I'm just trying to hoop. So I'm kind of like pissed. So I'm like talking to her. So she's trying to make me feel better. So I'm laughing, right? I'm laughing with her or whatever. And our team's losing at this time. And I guess it made it look like that I'm laughing at my teammates, which I would never do, like, ever in my life. That's rude. But we get down. We lose the game. She doesn't put us back in. We lose the game off of the fact that we don't have enough players. We get down. After the game, she announces to the entire gym that, that was the most embarrassing game. It will be handled. Never will forget that. So, of course, in my mind, I'm like, it will be handled. Like, what you mean by that? What you mean by that? So, like, I already knew because we were not supposed to lose to Houston. Like, that was just not a game we were supposed to lose. I already knew that she was going to go down there and, give her 2 cents about how the game went, and it was going to be a very loud, emotional, words were going to be exchanged, and we go down there, and that's exactly what that was. And she said her 2 cents, and I just remember when she said, we have people that will no longer be here next year, like this is their last year, and they're acting like a bunch of biatches. And I was like, biatches? And I was a little confused, right? And I kind of sat up, and Hannah was behind me. She's kind of kicking my chair, and she's like, basically, like, girl, if you want to leave, you can leave. Like, basically, trying to have my back in a way. I'm just sitting up because I'm used to her, like, saying crazy things all season long. So I guess her and none of my other teammates exchange eye contact, and she sees it, and she's like, so-and-so, get out. And so she kicks them out. And we were like, why did you kick her out? And she was like, they made eye contact. And mind you, them two, they weren't even like cool at the time. So like I knew, I was like, I feel like you kind of made that up. Like I still don't know because they were behind me. So I feel like they kind of made that up because I'm like, they're not even cool. Like they're not going to make eye contact. If it was accidental. But so that happens. And then I guess Hannah says what she has to say and she kicks Hannah out. And I still sit there and I'm staying quiet or whatever. I'm sitting up and I'm still kind of like shaking, my legs shaking, my anxiety. Like I feel myself about to like have a whole attack or whatever. So I'm trying to keep it cool. One of my coaches that I was super cool with wanted to call me out and be like, well, we have people laughing on the bench and while your team's out there working and da-da-da, Quincy, like he said my name, he was like, Quincy, we got people laughing on the bench and you're out there laughing with Boogie, da-da-da, and having a bad attitude on the bench, da-da-da. And I'm like, first of all, then that's where I kind of blew up because we had a teammate on our team that did not have good, like would walk around with the stankiest attitudes, still got to start, still got to do this stuff, and you never call her out. So then that's obviously where I'm like, okay, see, I stood up and I'm like, we're not going to do this. This is not what we're not going to do this, like at all. And before I get to like say what I need to say, she's like, Quincy, get out. And I said, bet. So I grabbed my things and I said, fuck this. Like, fuck this. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, me out of everybody, you kick out. That's crazy. Like, as much as I give to this team, like, and all that, I was just really, like, really, really hurt. So I get kicked out, and Boogie comes back, and she's like, you're going to kick out Q? Like, what are you kicking Q out for? Da, da, da. And so she's getting wild up. So we're both kind of just, like, super emotional. She's like, everybody's they're just trying to make it. I don't know what they were trying to do. So we went into the locker room. They sent in our black coaches to talk to us. Um, and basically, like, try to calm us down. I wasn't getting calm. They called my mom down. And I just remember telling my mom that she called me a bitch. And my coach was like, she didn't say bitch, she said biatch. And then, like, I was like, Mom, is that not bitch? And then I remember blacking out after that. I was like, I just don't remember what else happened after that. Um,
Just because you add the O in there, don't change the meaning.
yeah. And, like, that's where I was kind of just hurt, really, because I was just like, I've always been an advocate for you, even when the locker room, they're always like, like, people were saying what they had to say. They were not agreeing with you. And, like, not saying that I would agree with you, but I always be like, like, come on, y'all, like, we got to do this for each other. Like, at the end of the day, we got to be for each other, and we can't sit up in here and, I'm always trying to speak up, like, she's going to be who she is, and that's what it is, but, like, she is valid for, feeling the way she did, because you did do what you did, whatever. And I just kind of, and I'm always one bringing energy to every single person in the locker room, in the coaching staff. So I just felt like, damn, the game that I didn't have it, nobody had it in them, and they would literally they tried to like make it seem like I was had this badass attitude when really I was just exhausted emotionally and mentally from first of all the week of you setting us up. Then like I feel you just set us up for failure because like I knew we didn't have enough players to play man. We should have just went zone. Like I'm like just to save our players, save everybody. Majority out of the five, majority of them were still halfway injured. Um, so like I just felt like kind of like attacked in a way in that moment, and I was like, I don't understand why you chose me to do that. I feel like that was just kind of like out of pocket in a way, and then to call me a biatch, I was just like that was just the icing on it, and that kind of like set me over to the point where then we had to the next day rolls around because we I'm trying to literally remember what all happened in that locker room. So after they call my mom down, my mom is literally talking to the coaches and basically telling them like, did she call her a bitch? Like she called her a bitch? Like like I don't speak to my daughter. You don't speak to black women like that. You don't speak to anybody like that. But you damn sure don't speak to black women like that. Like, do you not understand? Like as black women, that's what she said to my coach. Black woman to black woman. Did she call my daughter a bitch? And she was like, well, she said biatch and she was like, okay, that's all I needed to hear. And then so she tells me to go upstairs to my dad, and I don't know what else she said to them in the locker room, but I went upstairs to my dad, basically cried to him because I was just like just like emotionally tired and ready to go. And next day rolls around, I guess they call one of my coaches calls my phone and was like, "Are you returning to the team?" I was like, "I never said I was leaving the team. Like, what are you talking about?" Well, she was like, "Well, I'm glad to hear that JC wants to meet before practice or whatever." And like, what do you expect out of the conversation? And I'm like, I know that she's not going to apologize, so I hope she doesn't expect apology from me because I'm not going to give an apology.
Mm.
Because I just don't feel like I did really anything wrong in that situation because of what had been going on the entire season with just like the things that she would say. Not even directly, like she wasn't saying them directly, but we know who you're saying it to because like of the situation. Like it would be to all of us, but we know specifically the person you're talking to. And that's what I felt like that was that moment that was to me and you didn't direct it to me, but everybody in the room knew you were talking about me. And then my coach then piggybacks and directs it to me, and that was an issue. Like I just felt like I was like, dang, like I have I haven't done anything to nobody. This is I've worked the hardest. I literally guard the best player. I'm trying to step up. Like I'm like having a positive. I'm like, bro, I'm trying my best this whole season. My last one. I've been happy to be here. Like last one go around. So we get into the office and she what is she saying there? She just said like basically that I need to apologize to my teammates. And I was like, apologize to my teammates for what? Like I don't feel like I did anything. So she was like, they were scared. I'm like, scared? My teammates were not scared. Like, let's not do that. Let's not do that. My teammates were not scared. My best friend was crying because she knows, like, I'm the only one that did. I would never say nothing to you. And she saw how hurt I was in that situation. That's why she was crying. Y'all were trying to separate them from, that's trying to separate them from us, making it seem like we're these big bad bullies or something in the locker room. And then you had one of our other teammates create a whole group chat without us, basically trying to make it seem like we're all like not coming back to the team, like we have each other and that's all we need. Like basically that was what was said. And like I had obviously the teammates that I'm most like they leave the chat and they texted me, like my best friend that was in the chat, and then like a few other teammates that I was close with text me talking about like they made a whole group chat without y'all, like we left the group chat and whatever, and it comes to find out like they told my teammate to do that, and originally it almost created a conflict between me and my teammate because I was like, girl, why would you do that if you know, like, you know what I'm saying, why would you do that? And they were like, no, like they told her to make that. And I was like, why would y'all, why would especially in women's basketball, like why would you do that? Like that creates so much drama and unnecessary things, like that creates so much like beef. And I did not know that they made her create it until like after conference tournament. So I felt a way towards that girl like that entire time after, because I was like, that's just so messy and messed up of you. Like why would you, like y'all didn't go through nothing in that situation. Like I felt like if anything, me and another of my teammates, I feel like we were kind of getting attacked, and like I feel like y'all should have had our backs in that situation as far as just like not creating a group chat. Like obviously I know you're not going to stand up and do all the other stuff because not everybody has that. So that went on, and you know the season just went on after that. It was just very weird between us after that, and I did try to report it, like the situation, because I've never reported anything about what she said to us, anything, because none of them were directed to me. I'm not going to tell anybody else's stuff unless they ask me to report it for them, but I did end up trying to give it to people in like our student development center that I was close with, other like women of color, because I didn't really trust my compliance, because I just
Mm-hmm.
didn't trust that being in there. I just didn't trust compliance. So I was like going in there basically telling them about, you know, what I was experiencing, and they ended up, I guess I don't know how I guess it ended up going back to her. Things got misconstrued and reporting things that I never said. I was like, I don't know how that got there. So she ended up like unfollowing me. I was like, dang, like I didn't even, like I feel like I didn't do anything to you, like for you to unfollow me, because we were cool even like after, like we were cordial, cool, like you know, like I took it for what it was. Like I wasn't gonna be like just like have an issue. Like you said what you said. That is what it is. Like you've been doing that all season long. Like I'm not finished. Like that affect like my before we go into the tournament. Like I want to win. I want to do, like I'm still here. I'm still present. This is my last one. Like I'm not going nowhere.
Right.
So going on to that, yeah, I don't know. I guess it got back to her. I don't know how
And this
it
was
got back to
after the
her.
season was done when you tried to
This after,
report it?
yeah, this is, I reported it. No, I actually reported it like I reported it a couple days after it had happened to the people, but like it didn't, like I don't think they actually did anything about it until they had then tried to get me. They did try to get me to talk to somebody in compliance, and they were trying to get me to have a written statement to them, and I was like, I'm not doing that. Like I'm not doing that. Like
Mm.
y'all not gonna set me up like that. I'm not doing that. But I do feel like it ended up going back to her because of like what happened. Like once season ended, it was like our dynamic. Like if we ran into each other, it'd be very like weird, like very
Mm.
awkward, and it's just like, or like trying to avoid. And I'm like, this is so weird. Like what is going on? Like you make it seem like I did something to you. Like I don't know. Like I was like, I feel like out of everything, you don't understand. Like, and I don't think she's a terrible person for her. I do believe that it was an emotional moment and she could have handled it better, and maybe we should have just went home and not had a meeting, because at the end of the day, I went to OSU for her. So it's like I don't think she's a terrible person. I do believe that it was a terrible, flawed moment that I feel like hopefully she learned from. But I do feel like you do have to learn how to talk to black women. And I feel like in that moment it was something where it was just ugly, and ended up, and then I knew they found out because like I was supposed to go back for like a grad program there, like not grad program, like a position or something to be able to work in the sports world, and they ended up telling me like, oh, like it wouldn't be a good idea for you to come back, like you know we try to bring in new people to come in, not people that have already been at the program, which isn't a lie because they've had people that were already at the school come back for that program. So I was like, that's interesting. They like I used to
What,
have
like
like
a
a little,
GA position?
it wasn't like, yeah, it was like a GA position, but it wasn't to work with the basketball team. It was like to work with like student development and be a part of like athletes advocacy and just like learn in that world and like you know gain my experience in that, just so because that's basically what I wanted to do, was climb my way up to being an athletic director. So just starting in positions as far as I could. So that's what that opportunity was supposed to bring me, and it ended up like not happening, and I was like, oh, that's weird, because y'all are the ones that presented the opportunity to me and told me that I could, you know, go for it, and then like we would, if we have a spot, we'll take you, da da da, and like telling me to literally do all this stuff, and then end up calling me later like, sorry, I don't think it's gonna da da da, like literally after everything had happened, end of season, I was like, oh wow, like, and I know it, and literally, and then, like I had a whole show with the school, like called like Car Talk was cute or whatever, and I know for sure like she had something to do with like trying to cut it short, But like because I had such a great relationship with the media staff and everybody over there, they're like, we're not gonna do that.
Wow.
We're gonna keep your program going until you leave. Like you can do as many card talks as you can and interviews. Like they wouldn't let me interview any of my teammates anymore. I had to like go do a different sport. Yeah, I had to go. That's why I started going to card talks. It's usually like kicking it with Q. So I would like interview my teammates in like the gym or like wherever like they felt comfortable, and that was like a series. And then I didn't really get to finish my series with that because I didn't interview all my teammates yet. So I had to go. He was like, let's just change the segment. Like she's not gonna allow you to interview your teammates anymore. So
Wow, that's so interesting.
yeah. So it was like crazy. That's why I'm like, I feel like you did know. Like it did come back to you. I don't have like proof that it
Yeah.
did, but it feels like it did. And it just sucks because again, I don't have no bad blood for it. I just feel like it was a learning experience and I feel like apologies should have been had on not on my end because I don't feel like I did anything to you. But yeah, it's like that was one. I feel like my North Texas one probably was better. Shit, I can't even. It's so hard for me to remember a lot of these moments in like full detail because like I've tried to push it back so far so it doesn't bother me, or like doesn't like sit with me too bad. But like it obviously comes up
Yeah.
in my present life because of like certain things that might trigger it. But like I really try my hardest, like so not to remember those moments because I was so upset. Like North Texas, oh my god, I was so sad and and it's
Yeah.
so crazy. Nobody would ever know that because they're like, you've had an amazing career there. And I'm like, bro, like that was a mental, emotional roller coaster there. And it was because of
Right.
it started at the top, like the manipulation, the gaslighting. Like I was like, bruh, like you put me against my team, pin me against my teammates. Now they don't like me. Now we out, and I know it was that way because we out of basketball, and all of us are all cool but we couldn't stand each other there. Like we had
Mm-hmm.
random animosity, no real reason. Like it was just like a weird energy. You know, you could feel it when you go in a locker room. You're like, "Ooh, it feel like somebody don't like me in here." I don't know. Like it just
No, you're right. You're
you know, like
100%
you
right.
can
And I
feel
have the
it.
same thing. I have the same thing when it comes to like my freshman year. I have like so much of it is blacked out, blocked out, and it wasn't until I started my DM diary series and the untold stories of a D1 athlete where it like I would start like thinking about it, writing stuff down, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Like some of them are coming back, and I was like, "What?
How do I
Like
get
what
through
do you
that?
mean?" What do you mean? Like, what do you mean I experienced this as an 18, 19, 20, 21 year old?
Literally, like it was so crazy.
It,
It's so
it's
crazy.
crazy.
And I
Like,
love
I'm
that you
sure
have your
you have
show.
hundreds of stories. Sorry, say that again?
I was like, I love that you have your show where you're like, I literally love the documentary. I love the diary series. I love the podcast. Like, I literally love this whole
Thank you.
setup you have. It's so beautiful. Like, I hope more people come on here to share their stories because it's amazing. Like, people need to hear that. Not to discourage you to go anywhere, but like, literally just to be a little more, like, I wish I knew that I would experience some of these things so I could have, like, maybe prepared myself a little bit. Like, you can't prepare yourself for everything, but like, I went in blind. I'm thinking, like, work hard, get up. No, baby, it's a whole emotional roller coaster. Prepare your
Yeah.
emotions. And that's the biggest thing I feel like players, high school players need to know is prepare your emotions, protect your energy, and it's okay that you're not okay. Like have boundaries. If they cross that, be okay. Be okay with letting them know they crossed a boundary and they disrespected you because
Huge.
I didn't gain that positivity, energy like that confidence in me until Oklahoma State, which is where I was able to like stand up and for
Hmm.
myself because I've never done it. I've never stood up for myself. I just took it and took it and took it and took it and took it, and I like communicated to JC like in the beginning of getting recruited. I said I came from a coach that intentionally did not want me to do well. Went out of her way to make sure I try not to get a senior night. Went out of her way to make sure I didn't break her record. Went out of her way to make sure I didn't pass her at any points. I didn't start. That's the one I should have went to. I'm telling you, it only comes like when I'm starting to think about
Hey,
things.
we got time if you want to share. I don't care.
We can do that
I
one because
don't
that was
care.
really the best one.
That's what we
That
here
was the
for
best
at the
one.
end of the day.
No, that one, no, that's the
For
best story.
real.
This one you really no. Tell
Let
this
me
one.
hold
Okay.
on. Let me
Yeah,
hold
get
on.
comfortable. Get
Hey.
comfortable because, baby, I was at North Tech, and that ultimately the reason why I really left because I was like, I can't be here. So I'm at North Texas, and I transferred there, and I loved my staff. I loved my head coach. I loved everybody. Like I loved it. It felt like home. After I sat out, I came back and I had a stellar year. I'm hooping. Like, I don't know, I'm in my prime. I got my little edge back. I'm hooping. So I start climbing the ladders in just points in a season. So I don't even remember what I ended up reaching that season, and breaking 3-point records and stuff. So then I go on to my second year where I end up having a pretty decent year, but I started seeing like her energy kind of change towards me, and like things that she would do like to stop getting me certain plays in a certain way. And I was like, what's going on? Like, I'm not saying like nobody else should get the bucket, but like this play's always been like, like certain players always have like a certain play that's like, this was designed for you, and now we trying to make somebody else do it, or and we trying to like, and I'm like, oh, that's weird. I'm a little uncomfortable, or like, you just trying to do things. Then my third year, we get into my third year. That is when I realized that I was having anxiety and panic attacks, because I started
Mm.
like, I don't know, like certain things that she would say to me, I ended up like, like couldn't breathe, crying, and I'm going to my trainer. My trainer, I love you to death, Nicole. I love you so much. Like girl, that's my girl. I hope everybody experiences a beautiful trainer like that. That's my trainer. That's my girl. She got me through it all. She would literally pull me in the back and let me do the little, taught me exercises to help myself from literally having panic attacks in moments.
Mm.
But besides that, we're in games, third year in game seasons. I'm going through like some emotional things with her, so it's like fucking up my mental in the game. So like she would pull me in for like meetings randomly and like kind of like gaslight me in a way. I'm trying to like remember like what she would say to me. Like she would like say certain things like, um, freak. I hate that I can't remember them. We're just gonna go straight to last year. Last year there, last year there. So, we don't really have like a 4 or 5 player for her that she trusted, I guess, at that moment. Even though we had the bodies for it, and she just didn't pour into them the right way. So she had me and another guard start playing the 4 and the 5. Imagine. Yeah, we started playing the 4 and the 5, and I still was finding a way to score and do that stuff for the team, because at the end of the day, like that's what needed to be done. We need to put the ball in the hole. So I still found ways to do that, but there was like this one specific game against Rice and or not Rice, Middle Tennessee, and I asked her if we can. What did I ask her? What did I ask her? If we could do like a certain play so we can get this bucket. And she was like, are you like trying to make it seem like I'm trying to coach? She was like, are you trying to coach? Like, we're in game, in the middle, like she's yelling at me. And I'm like, okay, all right. Like, it's cool. Like, she was like, it's not about you. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, don't worry about it. That's what it was. It's not about you. I said, okay, don't worry about it. Like, that's not what I was saying, but all right. So I guess she felt disrespected in that moment. And I guess one of my other coaches was like, well, just pull her if you feel that way. So they pull me and they sit me the entire rest of the time. And they end up then next game comes around, you know how we have film. So we go into film and we pull up everybody's matchup. Oh, so and so you'll guard this, so and so you'll guard this. They took me out the starting lineup. I said,
Wow.
didn't tell me nothing. Took me out the starting lineup, didn't give an explanation. So I'm like damn near like about to cry in a way, because I'm like, I've never not started at UNT. Like ever since I went there, I've never like not started. That's always been it, always been there. So like I was like, okay, this is weird. Nobody's like, and she's like not talking to me, like, and I go to my coach and he's like, well, I'm gonna be real with you. She felt a way about this situation at the game and she wanted to pull you, or she felt a way, so I told her to pull you. I'm like, wait, you told her to pull me? What is it like? And mind you, the energy at North Texas, there was so many. My first year there, we had multiple people literally cuss her out and she not do a thing about it. And then they would leave. They would leave the gym. This is every year. Somebody would cuss her out and leave the gym. And we're running. And the person that literally disrespected you is gone. And we're running or running, running. You're begging them to come back in the gym. They decide to quit the team. You're begging them to, like, it's a very toxic environment where bad attitudes are just allowed. So, and
Mm.
I'm still trying to maintain who I am and not, get into that aura. And the times that I did find myself like, being like, man, like feeling a certain way about what she's saying, I always tell her like, you know what, today I was really kind of upset with you. Like I always was very communicative with her about how I was feeling, because I felt like that was my best way of being accountable. And if she ever felt like I was doing something, I'd be like, that's my bad. My intentions were not to make you feel that way. So I was always accountable with her. So when we were in that moment of her not, being accountable with me about you apparently thinking I have an attitude issue, I was like, an attitude? And an attitude? I never have, like, with you, I, like, no. Like, where did you get that from? Like, I get it was a high end, this is in game. So we probably were yelling, but it was a loud arena. It wasn't anything unaware of me trying to disrespect you. And she never came to me with the issue. You
Mhm.
just took me out, just did all this other stuff. So that was one. And she continued this on for like 4 games. Didn't start me for like 4 games, no explanation, no nothing. And then I get to somebody researched it or something, and because they're on Twitter, and they were like, "Oh, so they're not having Quincy start anymore. She won't be the player that has the most starts over Jaylee anymore." So they basically are accounting for it. They're keeping track of it. It's not even, I didn't even know about none of this. So I'm just thinking like she just has a problem with me or something. And then we move on. We get to, I finally start again. I don't know. Then she tries to talk to me again and basically like says like, "Hey, this is right before a game. Hey, I feel like this. Like you did this to me and da 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 da." Knowing I'm the type of person like when somebody tells me I have an issue like or if I have emotional I kind of emotional in a way. So I'm like, "You're trying to tell me this before a game? Like I feel like you're trying to mess with my mental. Why are you over here trying to mess with my mental right now before a whole game? Like you're sitting here trying to mess with my mental." Then we get on, so I don't know how I figured out a way to. No, I had a panic attack. Went to Nicole, had a panic attack,
Mm.
came back, played the game. Played in the forward position again. Still playing out of position. Still playing out of position, so somehow still somewhat getting my points, but not the same way. Then we get to, um, where are we at? Then we get to talking about before we go into conference, and she basically was trying to tell me how I need to do better as a leader. Da da da. I'm like, cool, cool. Then she gets into saying like, I need you to, or let's have a conversation about what had happened. She was trying to have that conversation again about what had happened before, and I was like, can we not have this conversation right now? Can we have this after the season? Like I don't feel like it's appropriate to have this conversation right now. I feel like that's just something that's gonna like wear on me, and we're about to go into a game, and I don't really want to have this right now. And so we don't. And no, let me back forward because I forgot senior night. She tried not to give me a senior night, knowing that she was like, "Well, you'll be back next year." And I was like, "I won't. I don't know if I will be back next year. I don't know if I've decided to take my 5th year or not, or here or whatever." And she was like, "Oh, so you're telling me you're leaving?" And I'm like, I never said I was leaving. I just said I haven't decided if I'm going to take it or not. But if I do decide to leave, then I would like my senior night because North Texas is my home. I want to say goodbye to my people, whatever. And she was trying
Right.
not to give me one at all. Like literally didn't want to do anything. I'm calling, and I have a great relationship with the manager on our staff and stuff. So she was telling me, she was like, she hasn't even ordered nothing yet for you. Da 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 da. So I told my mom, and my mom literally had to email the athletic director to literally get her to give me a senior night so I can
Um.
celebrate my last times at North Texas. Then she tried to again have that conversation before conference tournament, and that was it was it, at that time I was strong enough to be like, nah, like, I'm not having that conversation or anything. We're not going to do that. So we were able to play the game and everything. But then she ended up pulling me in the middle of a game that, first off, we've never beat UAB that season 3 times. We didn't beat them, and we were playing them in the tournament. And she pulled me I think the third quarter, and didn't play me the whole time, and then tried to put me back in. I think the last few minutes of the fourth, and we were losing. And our players were like, my teammates were like, "Why don't you have her in? Why aren't you doing this?" And da da da. And apparently, I guess she was upset when I said we only have each other. Da da da. So she felt a way about me saying that, and I was like, I'm confused. Like nobody's like, I'm so confused. And I didn't know that I was anywhere near beating any of her records until literally people on Twitter were telling me this stuff and like send me all this stuff. And I literally went to go research. And my mom was like, "Yeah, you were on the road of if you would have stayed at North Texas, you would have beat her." She's the all-time scorer at North Texas. She was like, "You would have beat that, and you probably could have beat that before you left, but she had, started messing with your minutes and everything, and your plays, and then you also would have been the only player to have like started as many games like she did, but she had stopped starting me mid-season. Like it was so crazy,
That's
and that's
so
really
goofy.
like it was so crazy, girl. It was so crazy, and I was like, oh yeah. And I don't know how she got fired. A lot of people like to say that I was like part of the reason why she got fired, but I honestly just feel like it was time to go. We literally got to 100 wins 9 years in. 9 seasons in, you got to 100 wins at North
Mm.
Texas. And I wasn't the first player that like a lot of this had happened to. Like another player that was in my same status, but years ago, like she literally could have beaten her record and got then she stopped that from happening as well. I just find it so crazy. Like I can't believe I went through none of that. Like girl, like why
Nah,
wouldn't you want
going.
somebody else to pass it? Like
Yeah.
you're a coach. Like it would make you look like a better coach. Like to this day, it still doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. No, going to a school where the coach is like legendary in the rafters, in the record books, it's tough. It's tough. And I don't have the same experience where like, you were chasing after her records and everything, but like the way that that woman was so beloved in the community, in like within the administration and everything, just because of what she did and how like her career at that school blows me. And I don't care. I'm gonna say it. I feel like that's the only thing that's ever saved her job, because there's no way. Look, that's all I'm gonna say. That I'm just saying. Like that's a tough thing. You should definitely take that into consideration if you're somebody, like if that person played at that school before and what they did while they were at that school, because that's insane. And the fact that it wasn't only you just shows that you were not tripping. Like you did not make that up. So
Exactly.
please.
And that's exactly why I was like, bruh, like this makes just no sense. Like I just like it just never makes sense. Like I'm like, why wouldn't you want to be known to have somebody pass it? Like that is so weird to me. So weird to me. I literally can't even go back to North Texas because like I went back for alumni last a couple months ago, and I literally the coach that was currently there I guess has some issue with me for not staying, because like I announced that I was leaving I guess the same day that he announced that he was coming, and I was like, I didn't know they were going to announce you that day, sir. Like I don't know. And he's just very weird. Like he's a very weird individual. Like I he acts like he knows me and like talks like he knows me, and then like talks down on me. And like one of my teammates had passed one of my records, which was I was like I dapped her up. I was like, hell yeah, girl, like, I ain't no hater. Like what the heck? Like hell yeah, you should. But the fact that you made it like this big deal that she had passed me is insane. And I'm like, it's not like I was like number one. I was like ninth or eighth in scoring list. Like she had went up one before me, and like you're making it like an emphasis. Like it's me. Like you should be making it the fact that like she is making like a career jump. Like it shouldn't be like, oh, she's past the Quincy Noble. And he literally called me back there to literally make this announcement. Like made it adamant to like basically like I don't know, like make me feel bad or something. I'm like, I'm not gonna feel bad because she like you wanted me back there. I was back there. I was up in the front talking to the donors, and you called me back there, and I told you like, oh, I can't come. Like, oh, wait. You get 3 different coaches to come back and get me, so you can repeat the same thing you said. Like, girl, let my girl have her moment. Why? What's the beef over here? I don't understand. It's
Yeah.
so weird. It's so weird. North Texas is such a weird atmosphere. I would never, ever, ever wish nobody go there. I'm so sorry. Not as an athlete. Not as an athlete. I literally tell you, like, the current coach there, weird. Like, so weird. So weird. So weird. And the culture, even weirder. Everybody leaves. Like, literally, everybody leaves. Like, don't go. Like,
Yeah.
sorry. That's my shout out to y'all. Don't go to North Texas unless you're just going for school. Unless they get a new
Hey.
coach. Do not go.
If
Another one.
if that's your advice, that's your advice, and I respect it. I also just really appreciate you coming on today, being vulnerable, opening up, sharing your experiences, giving some advice to people. So thank you.
No, thank you for having me. Sorry I'm not a good storyteller, y'all. I'm working on it. I'm
Don't
working
even
on
worry about it. Don't. I could have given you more of a heads up to get your stories together, but
it, girl.
that I'll take that a little bit on me too.
No.
But they were
You'll find
definitely some
something.
jaw dropping moments in there, 100%.
You'll find something in there.
Thank you guys for watching. This was another episode of Buzz Hub. We will see you guys again soon. Bye.
Bye.